Today, I'm going to be discussing a topic that may make some people uncomfortable, but I think it's a really important topic and something that my viewers have asked me to go over, as well as personal emails and people that I help. And in fact, most of my videos are subjects that people are interested in knowing more about, but most of the information is not out there. So please take a look through some of my other videos if you are a first-time viewer. So to move on to the subject, I asked a couple of questions in the community box, and that's where I came up with this particular topic today, and that is why some straight men are aroused by a penis. And this can be very confusing to some of the men who get aroused by viewing a male penis, and that would include oral sex. It could even include anal sex, but there is an aspect to them that it is arousing, but they are straight, and it's not something or a person that they would want to have a romantic relationship with. It's not that they feel that they are gay, they feel that they are straight, but yet they are aroused by this sexual act. And many times they wouldn't normally be aroused by it unless they had viewed it or been exposed to it at a younger stage in life. That's not always the case, but for many men it is. But right now I'm going to talk a little bit about the history of men and the developmental process. So when men are younger, they are going to be fascinated by their penises because it is front and center. It is something that feels good. It changes from flaccid to erect. So many men have a fascination with their penises, and when they hit puberty, they also orgasm. So that part of it, many people can attest to the fact that, okay, at some point they found it arousing that their penis did that, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they were aroused by another man's penis. So that's kind of something different. Now, most men that feel this arousal, it's a sexual act. It's not that they would choose to be in a relationship with the man. It's not that they would choose to kiss them, hug them, hold them. It simply is something that turned them on, aroused them, and then sometimes men will be, okay, it's just a sexual act and move on from it, no big deal. But other men will focus on it and put energy into it, and sometimes they will even create more than would even be there normally. So they might get a rush from it. They might get a thrill from it. There might be something taboo about it. They may shame themselves afterwards. Each person is different, but all this does play into keeping the eroticism going, keeping the energy around the sexual act going. And so it's really important to understand this aspect and this part of it. And one of the problems is when a person decides that they want to cross the line, meaning that, okay, they may have seen the sexual act, they may have even talked about it in a chat room, they may have discussed it with somebody else, but then they decide that they're going to go ahead and try it. And some of the times that men decide to engage in trying the sexual act is that they want to prove to themselves that they are not gay, that they do not have an attraction to men, and so they go out and they try it, and sometimes the situation itself is not good. They don't really know the person. They could be putting themselves in a dangerous situation, or that they feel more shame afterwards. Very rarely does it actually prove the point that they were trying to see if it justified their feelings of their sexuality. And so if you are having a fantasy about it, it's best to work it out as to why you think you're fantasizing about it before you go ahead and try it. Obviously, I'm not talking about a man who identifies as homosexual or gay or bisexual. This video is not about that. This is about a man who identifies as being a straight man that happens to get aroused by the sexual act of oral sex with a male penis or anal sex with a male penis. And again, I know that this is very controversial. I know that this is taboo for many people, but there really is a line of being aroused by something and actually identifying as something else. And so there are instances where you can be aroused by many different types of sexual acts, especially if you're viewing them in a way that wouldn't be a natural setting. I mean, we have access to all types of pornography now, and I brought this up in other videos, and so people are exposed to things they normally wouldn't be exposed to. And so if that's happened to you and then you got aroused by it, well, it's really not that far of a leap there, you know? I mean, for instance, there is an island called Rarotonga, and the god is called Tonga, and he is, you know, he has these 2 feet and his penis goes to the ground, and so basically, you know, he's a god of masculinity and worshiping the penis. And so that's for both men and women, and they see that as, you know, being vitality and the masculinity and, you know, populating the earth and, you know, all the other things that go into the male penis. And obviously when you're looking at pornography, most of the men there have larger penises as well. So it kind of sends this message of masculinity. And so there is something sexual about it, and also the act of having sex and using the penis. So a man getting aroused by that, you know, some men, as I said, will go, okay, it's arousing, but it's not something that I'm going to turn on and get off on again. And with other men, it just becomes more mesmerizing, more interesting. But again, it could be tied into, they get like a dopamine rush from it. It's taboo. There's shame involved. So it really does kind of turn it into something bigger than life, bigger than it's supposed to be. And so one of the things that I will say is, if you are confused by this, that you really do have to look back. You know, when did you start feeling this arousal? Did you have an experience in childhood maybe? Or did you see something early on in life? Or, you know, did you interact with somebody else? When did you start feeling this way? And some of that may be helpful in understanding, you know, how you became aroused by a male penis, being a straight man. And I wanted to bring this to light because you, my viewers, have asked me to talk about it, and I hope I've shed a little bit of understanding on it. And if it's something that you have a comment on or something you want to discuss further, then please leave your comments below. Anyway, I'm going to end the video here, and I may bring up this in the future. We'll see what the response is. Anyway, as you know, I believe everyone deserves to have a healthy sex life, and so do you.